What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. Every time I do these intros, I'm like, man, I got to shave. I definitely have to shave. So I'm going to have to do that later today. But I am in a Millie draft right now. So let's get to this. In the 11 spot for today's draft, Joey says Detroit versus everybody. Pete says went Neighbors, Achane, Hampton, Worthy, Pickens, and then Travis Hunter to start my main league this weekend. 3 wide receivers, got Igbuka in the 8th as well. My man, saying you got Igbuka in the 8th, that's really burying the lead there because Igbuka should not be an 8th round pick. I mean, I'm trying to leave every draft with him essentially, with where he goes in those home league type drafts. Like my rankings update, you might see it as me being aggressive with Igbuka. But right now, today, I have Igbuka at wide receiver 22. 11 spot is pretty brutal. The reason that it's brutal now, it wasn't brutal before, but the reason it's more brutal now is because you get garbage at the 3-4 in the 3rd and the 4th, and then you get garbage again in the 7th and 8th. The 5th and 6th is good for the 11 spot. You feel good about the players you're getting there. Like pants will be off if I get a Emeka Egbuka at 5'11", but it's becoming a really difficult spot to draft from. I really wish Mike Clay would stop moving Egbuka up the ESPN app rankings for home leagues. Fortunately, I'm done drafting on ESPN personally. That's a selfish comment, but yeah, if you're drafting on ESPN, that's tough. I'm expecting Puka to fall, to be fair, but we'll see. We'll see who I'm going to pick. I kind of like getting Drake London in this area because you get the potential for a unique combo or a little bit of a more unique combo because he hasn't been a first round pick. So I might go London to start and just see. I guess all of these guys, though, they're going to have. Let's go Puka. No, let's go Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know what? Let's go ARSB. I haven't drafted a ton of them. Probably slightly underweight. I think London will be there in the 2nd. If he's not, we have other choices. AJ Brown at the turn. And Chase Brown. All right, so I really want to get Puka. Let's just get Puka. Gotten a lot of Drake London recently. Henderson went 27th overall in your home PPR league. I mean, 27th overall is pretty rich, but I have him 34th. And I think that I could argue him up to 30th, 29th. What's going on, Lucas? We'll see. I mean, like this 11 spot, like Kitchen said, you just get some. You just have to cross your fingers someone falls here. I mean, we might have to build a let's hope Matthew Stafford's healthy team and get Devontae Adams. No, of course I'm concerned about Stafford. I'm definitely concerned about Stafford. This is draft 142 though of the Millie, so if this one burns, this one burns. But I like the balance of Puka with ARSB though. You get more of a floor guy in ARSB. We feel pretty confident that he's going to give us something. Drake London though is a great pick right now. You can pick your spot. Do I smash first and take Chase? Feel like tops. Honestly, I kind of like the 105, 106 area. If it's a running back heavy draft, then maybe 103. But I like the 105, 106 area because in the second, you're going to get a falling value, like a really good player. And then in the third, you still have a chance to get like a decent guy. I've been getting so much Jackson Smith and Jigba recently because he's the only guy in the third that I'm like, love the talent profile. Situation's not great, but I can at least lean into that talent profile pretty heavily. But otherwise, it's just a rough third round. Is Bijan, Ladd, and Bucky for your first 3 picks good? Yeah. Morning, gentlemen. Loved the living the stream yesterday. Thanks, Aloso. That was a fun time. Got my big auction draft this weekend, and he's my guy. I'm assuming you're talking about London or maybe JSN. Who do you like pairing up with Jamar at the 2-3? Look at Achane falling to 212. At the 2-3 turn. I mean, you can go Jacobs, you can go Trey McBride, T. Higgins. Depends on, are you talking about like a regular redraft league or a best ball league? But I like to bring it back with McBride. I think the chalk is like Chase, Higgins, McBride. Achane falling though there is nice. Any chance we get a Gibbs / Monty situation in Seattle? I think we gotta like chill with like. And I'm not saying that I'm not like saying that what you're saying is like silly or anything. But I just think that the Gibbs like every backfield ends up just being like Gibbs Monty, Gibbs Monty, Gibbs Monty. But the only reason why that was able to work and has been able to work is because the Lions have had a good offensive line, a good offensive ecosystem, and they've been really, really good. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call it a Gibbs Monty situation. I would just call it a split backfield. Like I don't think we need to like go to the outlier and say, if the question is, can both of them be top 20 running backs? I'd say no, because I don't think the offense is going to be good enough. Here's Kitchen saying to focus. Yeah, you got James Cook there. All right. Mike Evans is a pretty good pick too. I think that we could just really, really lean in on the Rams and go Rams mega and go Kyron here. And then probably get Devontae in the fourth. Just really lean. Oh, there goes Devontae right there. Okay. Well, at least we got one Ram. Travion next. Don't really want to get Garrett Wilson. It's either Travion or Kenneth Walker. Let's get Travion. Travion's been mostly, I've seen Travion go with the 301, 302 area. So getting him in the fourth is fine. I think he's in this tier. You got Kenneth Walker in the tier. I think Breece is at the end of the tier. Alvin Kamara in that tier. This is also setting up for a Drake May round 9. And then we obviously have Stafford to think about. Jared Goff we can stack. Ten-team redraft league where I know that at 301 I'll have my choice between Bowers and Allen. Should I go elite onesie or continue building depth after taking Chase and Bucky? I think that in a 10-team league, you can go Bowers there. I'd go Bowers there in a 12-team league. Yeah, I'm probably going to get Mooney. Or at least, as you said, look for him. Look at that Joe Burrow mid-4th. Burrow mid-4th without any Bengals pass catcher. This team right here doesn't have a wide receiver yet, but I like the start. Okay, Ted McMillan. I said this in my Patreon live stream the other day, like keeper decisions. I don't think people realize that like analysts are doing you a disservice at times by just giving you some sort of, I know that you're just like looking for confirmation and stuff, but there is so much nuance to keeper decisions that's impossible to give that context. Like when you say, hey, should I keep this player in round 3 or this player in round 7? I don't know what players are available. I don't know how many keepers there are in your league because I don't know what a round 3 pick would generally look like, right? And like what the opportunity cost is there. There's just so much nuance to keeper decisions. And look, no joke, I get 25 plus keeper questions this time of year every single day. That's not even hyperbole. So I'm trying my best to help, with those, like Thomas, for instance, says, I have a brutal keeper decision, Neighbors round 3 or Chase Brown round 10. It's so hard. It seems like Chase Brown would be the move in a vacuum, but I also am not the kind of person or analyst, and people like, you can hate me or love me for it, but like, I don't want to give you an answer that I just don't feel confident in or that I don't feel great about. Godwin is off the pup, but not playing till October, per Shefty. Well, I'll still draft Emeka Egbuka in the late 5th if he's there. But that might bring me down a little bit in my rankings. A little bit. Here comes the wide receiver run that we see every draft. It's kind of weird that Waddle's kind of just like naturally fallen as like an Egbuka. There goes Egbuka. As like an Egbuka rises. I mean, Ricky Pearsall in round 5. My average Pearsall pick, I think, has been, because when he went on PUP, I was drafting on every single draft. I think my average pick for Pearsall is like 82 maybe. Because I was texting Mike Leone about this last week. Remember looking at it. All right, so we need to go wide receiver here. I'm thinking Jalen Waddle. And then, if Zay's there in the next round, that's fine. I could even get Rashee Rice in the next round. I think 5-6 turn is around where Rice should go. We'll go Waddle here. That gives us at least a little bit of stability. Why is the jawline looking 12% sharper today? Maybe I shouldn't shave. I feel like the jawline's not looking sharper. All right, Adunze Caleb. I don't know, maybe I'll get some Zay exposure. I don't have a ton of Zay flowers. And this is a team where I kind of want. I mean, the thing is with Rashee Rice opens up a Kansas City stack in the next round. I think I'm going to do that because you're often getting Mahomes falling to that next area. And telling you guys right now, this 7-8 turn is brutal. It's brutal. The players you're choosing from are just not great. Yeah, Kitchen said to take Rice, so I took Rice. I mean, I saw this after I took Rice, but I'll say that Kitchen was the reason. Just had a draft where Pearsall and Egbuka went before Travis Hunter. I think Egbuka probably should go before Travis Hunter. Pearsall, I'm not quite there yet. Look, Emeka Egbuka, really, really great prospect profile. In the Zap model, really didn't grade out that much differently than Travis Hunter, despite the draft capital difference. Now, Travis Hunter had reasons for that. I think Hunter's a better prospect. But Egbuka now is looking like the number 2. At least till October, he can establish himself on a team that I think is a little bit more attractive than Jacksonville. And you still have some question marks about how Jacksonville is going to deploy Travis Hunter. Now, with that being said, I'm overweight on Hunter. I think that he's a great pick, et cetera, et cetera. So if you don't want to go Egbuka, that's fine. Yeah, Hunter is apparently going to be full-time offense. I'm just saying I'm just asking the what ifs. Why is Pearsall jumped so far ahead of Jennings? Jennings isn't practicing. Said that calf injury. Well, and maybe it's a contract related thing, but still. Jennings hasn't been part of the team. So we'll see if my read with going Rashee Rice was okay. Maybe we can get a Mahomes thing going. And there could even be like a Kelsey in round 8. I don't have much Kelsey at all. But from this spot, you can't really be too like your team's not going to be that great. Yeah, the Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt stuff is I think he's getting steamed up a little bit too much. Now, I say that as someone who has a decent amount of JCM from earlier in the offseason, but I don't think that this is a one-to-one replacement with Brian Robinson from an ADP perspective, because I thought Brian Robinson was overvalued. In my opinion, JCM has the highest ceiling of the guys there, but I don't think that this is like he's locked in to be the goal line back, or in fact, I don't think he would. I think the most likely outcome is a timeshare, and Chris Rodriguez being the other guy, more of like the early down grinder goal line type player, and then Eckler as the pass catching back, and Krosky Merritt as like a 12 to 15 touch player who might not see the high leverage touches, which is the problem. And then you also have Jaden Daniels by the goal line. So like this one-to-one replacement of Brian Robinson to JCM, I could argue, yes, it is kind of a one-to-one replacement, but I say that with my own evaluation because I thought that Brian Robinson was overvalued to begin with. Like B-Rob should have been like a 100th overall type selection before all this happened, and he was going more in like the low 80s. So that to me is a big difference. All right, I got to focus on this next pick. Mahomes is still there. No, he's not. Let me see. Did this person... Okay, that person had Worthy at least. Could get Addison would be a fun one with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You don't always get Addison here every time. I mean, he does fall, but he was more of like a 6-7 guy. Now he's more of a 7-8 into the 8th because of that suspension. So we're gonna go Addison because that'll bring back for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Someone said Addison and Rice together, though. I mean, I get it, but I think that we can have enough assets to get us by the first few weeks. And then we go Hawkinson probably next. Could even go Aaron Jones, but we're good enough at running back. And the thing with getting Addison with Hawkinson is I do think we're going to see a little bit more of a spike with Hawkinson to start the season without Addison. So we'll go Hawk over Aaron Jones. Jones would have been fine. I like building. I like the flexibility with running back. If I would have gotten Aaron Jones there, then I'd have 3 running backs, and I wouldn't want to I'd be pivoting against running back quite frequently in the next handful of rounds, whereas I want a little bit more flexibility there because I like some of the falling values at running back. Honestly, the way this has gone, like from the 11 spot, I'm not that upset. And now we're finally in like the range where, any ADP can have, like, there's not like as strict of these are the guys that you have to basically choose from. I actually think that this worked out pretty well because we got Amon-Ra St. Brown. So if you're in the 11 spot, I do think maybe going Amon-Ra St. Brown is a decent move because of the Minnesota choices you have later. Rossini says the Saints, Browns, Chiefs in search of running back additions. If the Browns trade for Brian Robinson, it's really over for Judkins. But that would be terrible for B-Rob. No, I mean, you need B-Rob to like go to Dallas or something. I'm not really taking any of the reports. You know, he could go to a lot of different teams. He could go to, we're obviously thinking Dallas and Chicago as like the go-tos. Yeah, the Dolphins are another one. Pretty Ricky. Shout out Pretty Ricky. At the very least, Pretty Ricky's entertaining. Saints trading a 4th and a 7th for Vele, which, by the way, you guys know that I have Vele bags. I have a lot of Pat Bryant, Marvin Mims, and I have some Troy Franklin too. So I do think it like kind of evens out and helps that a little bit. I don't know. Vele, maybe this is just cope, but Vele in that environment in New Orleans, I still think can give us some usable weeks, especially if Olave and, you know, like we have a lot of fragility with Olave and Shaheed's health too. Yeah, my take on B-Rob is a talent take, and I think we're seeing, like, you got to think about this, guys. Like running back in general, yeah, pretty replaceable, especially early down stuff. So like he could go somewhere and still get a lot of work and be fine. You know, like that's just the reality of how running backs work. But like you got to wonder, why is Washington not wanting him? Well, he's a one-dimensional back. Like I've been talking about all offseason. Like he's not a special player. I'm not going to draft a special player amongst other pretty special players or like good players, right? Like he was going around, you know, like a Jaylen Warren type who had a lot of, Jaylen Warren was going way past Brian Robinson most of the offseason. But like, you know, Warren has great pass catching upside and has been really efficient and brings some juice to the table. B-Rob's fine. He's a fine player. It's hard for me to get behind that. Jaden Reed might be a decent pick here. I think we go Reed, and then we could go Goff, but I think I want to go May over Goff because I like May more. Reed opens us up. I'm trying to think through this. Reed opens us up for Jordan Love later. Yeah. I mean, and there's a big drop at wide receiver, and sure. So we can get Drake May or Goff next. I think I want May, even though although I built that stack for the bring back. I have way more May than Goff. I'm gonna go Goff. I have way more juice in that game than I do with going New England there. I just like Drake May straight up more. I have so much Drake May though. He's my highest exposed quarterback this year. This is a nice team from the 11 hole. I kind of agree. It's kind of coming together. And I like the Jaden Reed pick because it opens us up to potentially a falling Jordan Love, which happens at times. Not to say that I think it's going to happen, because there's so many Packers that get scattered around, right? Like you get Tucker Kraft right here. There goes Krosky Merritt. You get Tucker Kraft right there. You get Matthew Golden. Where'd he go? I'm trying to find him. Right over here. Fortunately, the Golden team has Lamar Jackson and Bo Nix. I think the big question mark for Love is going to be this Kraft team because they only have Jaden Daniels. But they have, you know, Trevor Lawrence as an out. They have Tua. This could also be a team that I end up getting JJ McCarthy as well, and then getting a third quarterback. I don't love getting quarterbacks from the same week 17 game, but I have enough pieces to Minnesota here that I could go that route. This is also an Isaac Tesla team. And I can't forget the Stafford, the Mooney stuff. I should put Mooney in the queue at least to remember. Kyle Pitts. We'll put McCarthy in there. Love. Yeah. I mean, we can get Tua later also. I'm actually going to put Tua. Actually, I'm not. Not yet. I'll remember to do that next time. Yeah, Ray McLeod's another one. Connor Allen said that Ray is his go-to in the final rounds, which I totally get. What do you think about Kirk? I'm getting more hype. Yeah, I think Christian Kirk is a real. I've gotten him in a ton of managed leagues because I think that he's like sort of a high floor option, kind of easy plug into your lineup in PPR formats player. So I've gotten a lot of Christian Kirk. Is Sky Moore a 20th round dart throw now? No. I mean, look, maybe Kyle Shanahan makes him work, but if Andy Reid and the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes can't make Sky Moore a relevant fantasy asset, I mean, the situation was dire in Kansas City through the years as well, as it is dire right now in San Francisco at wide receiver. So I'm not throwing that dart. I wish I had this iteration of the prospect model when Sky Moore came out because I liked Moore when he came out, but looking at the things that I know now and look at now, wouldn't have been as into him. But you grow and you learn, right? This could be a Bryce Young pick, but they might wait to the 12th. Yeah, the Justin Jefferson team already has Purdy and Fields. I don't know. We'll see what's here. We have 2 outs at quarterback. So hopefully we get one of them. There goes one. That's the Kraft team, right? Yep. That's what I was worried about. So I think we got to, oh my gosh, they just sniped McCarthy for absolutely no reason. We'll go Mooney. And I think we have to get Tua. That's brutal, man. That's just brutal. Who are you planning on stacking him with? We'll go Tua and then Stafford later. Because Tua, we have Waddle. It's a reach on Tua, but we have to with that run that just happened and being at the turn. JJ McCarthy, I mean, you have Jordan Mason, who's not a pass catcher. I wonder if these people know that I'm live streaming and that they just put me on Mega Tilt. Yeah, I could have gone Penix, I guess, there. But I think Tua and Penix are in the same kind of tier anyway. Penix just got drafted. But I think this also, if I'm able to get Stafford, this also allows me to have 3 separate week 17 quarterback games. Yeah, B-Rob at 140 is not bad. Yeah, I know. I act like I'm surprised after doing 300 drafts on DraftKings that someone would just randomly take JJ McCarthy. I mean, look, they didn't have much else going on. I mean, they could have waited for Cam Ward. They could have been more proactive, but like they had no quarterbacks. So they just took the best quarterback available. Now, the real issue is, here's the problem, guys. This team has Devontae Adams. I'm going to have to take Stafford next, even though it's going to be a reach. There's a 0% chance Stafford's getting back to me in the 14th round when this team only has Caleb Williams. I have to get Stafford next. And then we got to piece together a running back room after that. This guy's probably tilting off the planet right now. But look, I have the Stafford pieces. We got to look for a running back. Oh, it's ugly, man. It is ugly. Isaac Guerrero. Any tight ends that we could go with a 2 tight end build if we get Ferguson. Don't really want Rashad away with the injury. Jerome Ford. I think Guerrero is probably the best player. Oh no, we can go Algier. Actually, I want to get Ferguson. This is a falling value. Because we can now have a 2 tight end build. Oh, look at this. Yeah, Kitchen's screaming at me to take Ferguson. All right, I took Ferguson. Ferguson, the falling value for Ferguson was too much to pass up. But yeah, we got a slam running back now. We have our anchors, but we got to get 6 on this team. But I think now we can go. We could hypothetically run with a 2 tight end build. See this Aaron Rodgers pick, guys? You know what that tells me? They were definitely taking Matthew Stafford. 1,000,000% they were taking Matthew Stafford. I think if nothing else with this build, I don't think that there's been any, knock on wood, any suboptimal decisions. Have we gotten lucky? No, because of the JJ McCarthy thing, but at least we've gotten stacks and we made the right choices when we made them. So I can walk away happy with that in mind. What if boring quarterbacks are what you need this year? Maybe. I mean, this is a really boring set of quarterbacks who I would never take in a managed league because the upside is just not there. But in a best ball environment, they can still have spiked weeks. They will have spiked weeks. I don't even know if I've traded ADP here for structure. In my opinion, it's just, just made the right picks. If we can get Tesla at the end as the last wide receiver, maybe a little Ollie Gordon action. Yeah, that's true. I did basically trade Ferguson for Tua just based on the ADP. Like you could think of Ferguson up here and then Tua here and Stafford here. So, all All right, let's start to look here. I love Rico just as a pick. Love Woody as a pick. Don't want to take Jalen Wright. I have enough Jalen Wright. I know he fits the build, but I cannot take Jalen Wright. Pat Bryant, man. I don't really need him. Actually, no. You know what? We're only gonna go. We'll go 2 tight ends if I get Pat Bryant. He shouldn't be available right now with after the Vele move. I'm sure he'll get drafted, but let's look at running back. Woody Marks, Rico Dowdle, Justice Hill is a bring back for Jaden Reed. Taj Brooks is just a player who's good. Sean Tucker, bring back. Ollie Gordon. All right, let's look at this. Okay, so this team at the turn has a lot of running backs, so I'd rather take wide receiver if Pat Bryant. Okay, there goes Pat Bryant. All right, now I don't need to really make that decision. I think I kind of want to go Woody and Rico if they're there. Woody's getting more steam. Oh my gosh, Ollie Gordon just got drafted. I mean, goodness. All right, we'll go Woody and Rico. Like I said, I know Jalen Wright fits the build. I can't draft more Jalen Wright. I had so much of him in July that I can't be so exposed because he's not been playing well. I mean, this team is just pounding running back. Rico would be great. I'm going Rico here because I think he's just good. I think he's just a good pick. And I just need a body. I don't need to. I don't think like I need to correlate every single running back. I didn't even correlate Woody Marks, but Rico I think is the clear 2 in that offense. I think they can use him on. I mean they were using him a good bit in the preseason even, but yeah. I mean like I just think he's a good pick, especially for a 0 RB or like a more of a hero RB type build. I know I got too early, but just to get some bodies in there to get some production. I can't believe Ollie Gordon's going in round 15 now. Justice Hill, I think would be great next, and then Isaac Tesla as well. We'll put Tesla up at the, oh my god, there he goes. Okay. Maybe I should have just gotten Tesla. I don't know though, man. 16th round Tesla seems a decent bit. Seems a little high. But 16th round, whatever. If you get sniped again, there's definitely someone watching your stream. It feels like this past Pat Bryant and Ollie Gordon. If you guys are out there, be real with me and let me know if you're watching. Because this team taking JJ McCarthy and then Ollie Gordon, I mean, your team sucks if you are listening. It's a horrible team. So you can snipe me all you want. Your team still sucks. Yeah, there we go. Boom roasted. Keep sniping me, baby. It's not going to make your team any better. I mean, honestly, if Jalen Wright's there in the next round, I'll get Jalen Wright. I should rage bait him into making him comment. Some poor kid doing their best catching strays. We have no idea if this dude's actually listening. All I'm saying, if he is listening, then his team sucks. If he's not listening, good effort. Good effort. Oh, the Tesla team drafted Gibbs. This is the Henry team. I didn't realize that Henry went 107. The Henry team that drafted Burrow in the 4th naked. No, I've never looked at DK names and then try to correlate. Chris Rodriguez was a good pick there. I mean, look, do I just lean into the Jalen Wright stuff? I'll probably push him down and get like Taj Brooks first. Any wide receivers we like? We could sack Malik Washington. I think we can get at the last round. Like that idea. Like if this person drafts Malik Washington, look, guy, if you draft Malik Washington with this pick, I will Venmo you. Okay. They're clearly not listening. All right. We'll get maybe Brooks first and then Jalen Wright. And I know that that's backwards, but I just don't want that. I don't want Wright. I'm Enter. Maybe he's just sharp, says Kitchen. I mean, this guy at the turn needs to not draft another running back. We're going Jalen Wright next. Hate to say it. It's the right move for this build, even though I don't think he's very good. Like, we just got to play the ADP game. We got to play the market sentiment game. And I'll just be overexposed, way overexposed to Jalen Wright this year and hate myself for it. But look, if I get usable weeks from this Achane injury, maybe to start the season, maybe he won't be a total dud. Oh, I like the Whittington call too. Whittington's a nice, but I want to get Sean Tucker too. Oh, we got some options. Yeah, could go with one of the I mean, even Arroyo, I'm not against because I got Dowdle. But yeah, we can go Higbee, Terrence Ferguson. We definitely have correlation options late. But yeah, I guess I'm not going to go 7 running backs, so I won't get Sean Tucker. Where did Kate Otten go with all these injuries? 15-8. Our boy Chris Harris has Wright as a flag player, if it makes you feel any better. That's interesting. I don't know though. I like the only reason I'm saying all that is because if you guys remember in July, I was kind of reading into the beat stuff, the beat writer stuff. I talked about this on Becoming a Best Ball Bro. So it's probably easier to just listen to that. But I didn't get enough Ollie Gordon because the Alexander Madison thing was there. And when Madison went down, I should have pivoted harder to Ollie Gordon, but I didn't. And that was a mistake because I like Ollie Gordon a lot. The model liked him. The Zap model liked him. He brings a dynamic that they don't have in that backfield. Like, it was hard to draft Gordon when they had Madison, so I don't want to be mad at myself for that. And so Jalen Wright was sort of the default because he was going to make the team. But at least he fits this build. At least we got some correlation going. Have you embraced the bro part of the best ball bro enough? Bro, I stream with my hat on backwards almost every day. We need some vineyard vines. All right, Elijah Arroyo actually just got drafted. So here's my thinking. Maybe we go Ferguson because he's the upside play. I don't know. I like Whittington and Washington and going with them. I like that idea more. It's a different kind of build. We'll go Malik and then we'll go Whittington. And we'll get 9 wide receivers. Especially with we're going to do that because of the Rice and Addison stuff. Love your line and Stephon Diggs in the last episode. He was doing stuff on a boat. Yeah, who knows what was going on in that boat. All right. Here's the squad. Need your ratings. And now, look, the ratings are just straight up how the team looks. But if you want to give it context for being in the 11 spot and what we were working with here, I respect that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Travion Henderson, Jalen Waddle, Rashee Rice, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Jaden Reed, Jared Goff to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Darnell Mooney as a bringback for the Rams, Tua Tagovailoa for Jalen Waddle, Matthew Stafford for all the Rams, Jake Ferguson as a falling value, but also allowed us to do a 2 tight end build with Hawkinson, Woody Marks, Rico Dowdle, Taj Brooks, and Jalen Wright. Wright is the only one that really fits the build because of Miami, but he was a falling value. Malik Washington, also a Miami stack player. And then Jordan Whittington for the Rams. Look at this. I actually really love this build. 9 for the spot in the draft. Thanks. Solid 8 for me. Tough getting sniped on those quarterbacks. 7.3, 7.8. I'll take it. 11 spots, not easy. I think the team it's competitive. Came together. You know? We got a good mix of rookies in there. We're taking a chance. Too many zeros for center, says, with Rice and Addison. It's fair. If you survive long enough and Rice only gets 4 to 6 games. Yeah, it's really going to come down to, and Pete said great for what you had to work with. It's going to come down to, I think, how this team performs to start the year. We need Stafford to play right away, I think. If Stafford doesn't play right away, I do like that we got Hawkinson with Addison. I love that I say we. I mean, we all work together. I do like that there's Hawkinson with Addison because I do think that there's the spike potential for the first few weeks without Addison at tight end. And then obviously Rice, I'm thinking it's going to be 6 games at this point. I'm back to 6. I've basically been at 6 most of the offseason, but then there were times where I'm like, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 8. But I think it's going to be 6. Hopefully it happens at the beginning of the season. If we get 6 at the beginning of the season, I think that he's more of a early-ish to mid-5th. If we get 8, then he's going to fall back to the later 6th. What's up, Pat? Good to see you. But yeah, that's the draft. Appreciate everyone for tuning in as always. I got a lot of work to do. We got the draft guide updates I'm going to try to send out tonight. New rankings, new players to target, players to avoid. We have the late round fantasy football show happening at 1. It's a pretty loose show this week. It's going to be on make or break draft decisions that you have in your drafts that I think are going to really dictate how your seasons go. So I have 4 main sort of storylines and topics to talk through. We'll have a lot of news items on that show because there's a lot going on across the league. But appreciate everyone for hopping on, tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel because you will get notified every time we go live. Make sure you're commenting, liking, all that good stuff. It goes a long way. It allows Kitchen and myself to be able to invest more in this YouTube channel to do more of these streams and all that kind of stuff. So have a great Thursday, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.